Hello and welcome to Tommy Talks TV, the place to be to build great love relationships. Now, first of all, I'd like to start by saying a very big thank you. Thank you for all your likes and your shares and your comments on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. I really appreciate you. And for all the emails that you've been sending as well. Thank you, because you're helping us spread the message further, faster. Now, today I'd like to share with you on something very interesting. I'd like to share with you on the topic that I have titled, Married Means No Longer Single. Now, somebody's probably thinking, that's obvious. If you're not married, you're single. But once you're married, then you're no longer single. So that should be obvious. Well, that may be so, but I've come to realize that many times people are married physically, but experientially, they're not actually married. So even though they're married, they've not yet made the mind switch, the shift in their minds from the single mindset to the married mindset. And if you're going to get the best out of your marriage, you've got to be able to make that mind shift, because if you continue to live your life when you're married as though you are single, then you will not get the best out of marriage. Now, how do you know when somebody has this sort of mindset? Well, there are three things that I'd like to point to today that are sort of like pointers as far as this sort of mindset is concerned. The first of them is this. If you have a tendency to make major decisions without any recourse to your spouse, so without consulting with your spouse, without asking your spouse's opinion, you make major decisions, then it means that you're probably still stuck in a single mindset. You see, the beauty of marriage is this. You've got a completely different perspective from your spouse. So you see, when you want to make decisions and you invite your spouse into your decision making, then they bring their perspective and you bring your perspective, and together you're able to make more balanced decisions. But if you have a tendency to just make decisions on the spur of the moment without referring to your spouse, then it means that you're not making the full use of this benefit. So you need to recognize that when you're married, you should seek your spouse's opinion whenever you're trying to make major decisions so that you can make better decisions. Now, the second thing that is a pointer to somebody who has this sort of mindset is when you have a tendency to focus more on your own needs than on the needs of your spouse. You see, because marriage is all about giving. So if you enter into a marriage with the mindset that you're seeking to get your needs met rather than meeting the needs of the other person, you don't get the best out of marriage. So when someone is single, then you can focus on your own needs. But when you're married, you should be focused on how to reach out to your spouse, how to be a blessing to your spouse, considering what they need in every circumstance and trying to be a blessing to them in that situation. So if you have a married mindset, then you understand that your spouse's needs come first. And that's what it actually means to enjoy the best of marriage. You put your spouse first. Now, the third thing that is a pointer to someone who hasn't quite made that mind shift is if you have the tendency to confide in someone else apart from your spouse when there are major issues in your life. You see, your spouse is supposed to be your best friend. It's clear from scripture when you read in the book of Genesis chapter 2 that one of the main reasons why God created Eve for Adam was for companionship, for friendship. So your spouse should be your best friend. But if something happens in your life and the first person you think about to tell is maybe your mother or your father or your sibling or some other friend or a work colleague rather than your spouse, it means that you have not yet completely made that mind shift. Your spouse should be your confidant. They should be the one that you open up to, that you share your heart with, that you pour out your heart to, the one who gives you encouragement when you're in difficult situations, and the first person that you want to share your victories and your triumphs with. So don't forget, married means no longer single. Well, I hope this has helped you. If this has helped you, then please leave me a message on Facebook or Twitter. And if you've got a question you would like me to answer, then head on over to tommytalks.com/ask and I'll answer your question next time. See you next time. Bye-bye.